All right, so what I'm going to be doing today is installing this 5-inch damper. Purchased this from the sheet metal kid. Pretty simple. I have an older system, so this is just going to be a manual, and I want to put this on one of my runs so that I can get more cold air going upstairs, and I can have a little bit more control by adjusting this in the basement and closing this during the summer, because this goes right to our powder room, which I don't need much air, but I want air upstairs in our nursery. So this is the only run I don't have it on. So my plan is to install it right here. So the first thing that I need to make sure I do is I need to get this measured so that I can see exactly what I'm going to cut out of the existing ductwork up here. So if you can see, there's a little lip right there. I'm going to essentially take that part off, and this is where this end's going to fit on. And then the crimped end's got to be on this side because it's going to fit inside the sleeve going towards the vent. Okay, so it's a little tough to see in here, but you guys can get the idea. Okay, so you're just going to measure that, and then I'm going to start taking off the other part of it afterwards. So here's what I'll be using for the project. I've got a screwdriver, some needle nose, hammer, some tin snips. I believe they're 18 gauge. Something to write with, something to mark, tape measure, and then I've got a drill with a little bit of a bigger drill bit, I believe. I'm not sure what it is, but whatever you have laying around, that'll help you get the duct open. All right, so I got it marked off. Mine was about 6 1/4, and again, I'm just measuring from where the crimped end needs to go in. I'm not counting the extra crimped end because that's going to end up lying right in this area, the end of that. So just count to the end, or measure the end of the crimped, or the beginning of the crimped, so you can slide that in afterwards. Don't measure all the way. So what I'm gonna do now is take a screwdriver and a hammer. I'm gonna pop a hole right along this line so I can get some tin snips in there and I can start cutting it. Make sure you have a good pair of tin snips. Otherwise you're not gonna get anywhere with this part of the job. All right, so I'm actually glad I was talking out loud. I accidentally measured to the end of the crimped originally, and I caught myself when I was talking out loud to you guys. So I remeasured, as I was saying before, and I started this. I ended up having to go with a little drill bit just to get it started. Then I just used some needle nose just to get this kind of going along this side. Again, I'm gonna remove from here all the way to this end. So I'm gonna take some tin snips and I'm gonna start going all the way around both ways, and then should be able to slide it out after. But pretty simple idea. Again, just make sure you have some good tin snips. Don't try and use scissors, you're just gonna break the scissors. So you can see about halfway through, I kind of used a combination of a drill bit to get started. Couldn't get through with the screwdriver. And then I ended up using some needle nose just to kind of get it open, almost like a little can. And then got the tin snips in. I'll clean up like that barb when I'm done. Again, it's not gonna be the easiest spot to get to. Typically, I've heard people using like a Sawzall. I didn't really have any interest in having a Sawzall on this spot with the floorboard right above and having that stuff go all over the place. So just doing it manually with the tin snips, and just want to show you guys kind of the halfway point. All right, so you can see that I got through. It's not perfect, doesn't really have to be, because we'll seal it up, tape over it. But now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this, again, it's going from right to left, the airflow. So that end's crimped on the existing. So I'm gonna slide that over and then slide far enough so that I can slide this back in to that part. Once I'm done with that, put a couple screws in top and bottom, or probably top and bottom if I can get to it. Otherwise, I'll just go one on the bottom and then tape it up. That's pretty much it. So I'll show you guys at the end. All right, so you can see got it in, and I have the damper valve, the bolt down here so I can open and close it. So this would be open, close, just like any other sort of piping. And then again, it's gonna run all the way back to my powder room, which is what I'm trying to close off during the summer to get some more airflow going down this guy right here. I want it going back that way. So by closing off, you guys can see where it starts. And then I just put this damper on right here. So I'm gonna tape this up. I guess I put a screw in it, and should be pretty good to go. Not a simple job, but depending on where your run is located, mine was a little tough because I have this return right here. It was tough to get around with the tin snips. And then getting it in is a little tricky, so just make sure you have this part open enough. You're gonna have some burrs on it. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect as long as this is inside this. Again, screw it, tape it, and you'll be good to go. Thanks.